Good morning students. Today we are going to start 13th chapter of maths, that is symmetry. So when a figure is said to be symmetrical, suppose I am taking this shape. So we can fold this shape from here and this figure will be divided into exactly two equal parts. Then we can say that this figure is symmetrical. Take other example. Suppose I am having a square. It can also be divided into two equal parts if we fold it like this, or we can fold it horizontally as well. Again it will be divided into two equal parts. So we will say that these two figures are symmetrical. So a shape is said to be symmetrical if both its parts match exactly. As here, these both parts will match exactly to each other when folded along a line. Then we are having two axes of symmetry. One is the vertical axis of symmetry and other is the horizontal axis of symmetry. So first of all, vertical axis of symmetry. So vertical axis of symmetry means a vertical line which divides a figure into two equal parts. Suppose if I take this figure and if I want to divide it into two equal parts, then I will draw a line which will be vertical. So a vertical lines which divides a figure into equal parts that match when folded along the line. So this type of figure is said to have a vertical axis of symmetry. Take other example. If I take a circle, then again we can draw a vertical line to divide it into two equal parts. Then this is also having a vertical axis of symmetry. Then next is horizontal axis of symmetry. So when we say that a figure is having horizontal axis of symmetry, so when a horizontal line divides a figure into two equal parts, suppose if I take this figure and if I want to divide this figure into two equal parts, then I have to draw a horizontal line through this figure. So that means a horizontal line which divides a figure into two equal parts, as these are two equal parts that match when folded along the horizontal line, then such type of figure is said to have a horizontal axis of symmetry. Suppose if I take one more example, if we have to divide this figure into two equal parts, then again we have to draw a horizontal line. So these figures are said to have horizontal axis of symmetry. Then symmetry in geometrical shapes. So first of all, we will discuss about triangles. Now you know that triangles are of three types. First is equilateral triangles. So in equilateral triangles, all the sides are equal. So that means, suppose this is an equilateral triangle. We can divide this equilateral triangle into two equal parts by drawing a line like this. It is divided into two equal parts. We can also draw the line through this vertex. Then again it will be divided into two equal parts. And if we draw a line of symmetry through this point, then again this triangle will be divided into two equal parts. So we can say that in case of equilateral triangle, there are lines of symmetry. So in case of equilateral triangle, there are three lines of symmetry. Coming to next, Next we are having isosceles triangle. So in isosceles triangle we know that two sides are equal. Suppose if I take an isosceles triangle, suppose it's this and this side is equal, and we have to divide this figure into two equal parts. So how can we do that? We can draw it like this. So that means there is only one line which will divide this figure into two equal parts. So we can say that in case of an isosceles triangle, there is only one line of symmetry. So in isosceles triangle there is only one line of symmetry. Coming to next, last type on the basis of sides, it is scalene triangle. So in scalene triangle we know that no side is equal to one another, means all the sides will be having different dimensions. Suppose we take a triangle like this. Now if I want to divide this figure into two equal parts by drawing a line of symmetry, then it is impossible. So that means we can say that in case of scalene triangle there is no line of symmetry. Now coming to next geometrical shape, that is quadrilaterals. So there are various type of quadrilaterals, and quadrilateral is a figure which is having four sides. So now first of all we will share about square. So square is a figure which is having all its sides equal, and it is a four-sided figure. So now if I want to divide this figure into equal parts, then how many types of lines can be drawn? 1, 2, it can also be folded like this, 3 and 4. So that means in case of a square there are 4 lines of symmetry. So in case of a square, a four-sided figure in which all the four sides are equal, we can draw 4 lines of symmetry. Next type of quadrilateral is a rectangle. So rectangle is a figure in which opposite sides are equal. Suppose if I take this rectangle in which opposite sides are equal to each other, and I want to divide this figure into two equal parts, then firstly we can divide it like this, or we can draw a horizontal line. So that means we can divide it in by two methods. That means we can say that there are 2 lines of symmetry in case of a rectangle. So in rectangle there are 2 lines of symmetry. Coming to next type of quadrilateral, that is a rhombus. So this is a rhombus in which all the 4 sides are equal. So how many lines of symmetry can be drawn in case of a rhombus? First of all, we can divide it like this, or we can divide it like this. So that means there are 2 lines of symmetry in case of a rhombus. So there are 2 lines of symmetry in a rhombus. Next type of quadrilateral is kite. So in kite, these 2 sides are equal and these 2 lower sides are equal. So how many lines we can draw to divide it? Only one. There is only one line of symmetry in case of a kite. Only one line is there which will divide this figure into two equal parts. So we can say that in case of a kite, there is only one line of symmetry. Next, last type of quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So it is a figure in which opposite sides are equal, but the angles at the vertex is not 90. So there is no line which can divide this figure into two equal parts. So we can say that there is no line of symmetry in case of a parallelogram. There is no line of symmetry in a parallelogram. Coming to next shape, that is a circle. So in case of a circle, how can we divide this circle into two equal parts? So we can divide it in a number of ways. Infinite lines of symmetry will be there, because it can be folded from any side. So in case of a circle, there are innumerable lines of symmetry. Now coming to your exercise, that is exercise 13.1. So in this exercise, first question is, group the capital letters of the alphabet at letters having vertical or horizontal symmetry. Means you will check all the 26 alphabets of English from A to Z, and you will check which of the alphabets are having vertical axis of symmetry, which are having the horizontal axis of symmetry, and which are having the both, and which are having none of them. So we have to list the letters which show both vertical and horizontal symmetry, as well as separately also. So a few examples are given. Let's start with A. If I write A, how can we divide A into two equal parts? By drawing a vertical line. So we can say that it is vertical symmetry. Then B. How can we divide B into two equal parts? So this is the horizontal line of symmetry. Then if we talk about C, C can be divided again by drawing a horizontal line. So it is having horizontal symmetry. Then D, D can also be divided by horizontal line. So it is also having horizontal symmetry. Then if we take H, H can be divided in two types. Firstly, by drawing a vertical line, that means it is having vertical symmetry as well as the horizontal symmetry. Next question is, so like this you have to proceed. Next question, which of the following figures have lines of symmetry? And you have to tell that how many lines of symmetry are there. First type, we are asked about parallelogram. So in parallelogram, we have already discussed that there is no line of symmetry. Second is rhombus. Rhombus we have also discussed that there are two lines of symmetry. Then third one is rectangle. Rectangle we have already discussed that it is having two lines of symmetry. And last one is a regular pentagon. Regular pentagon means a pentagon which is having all its sides equal. All its 5 sides will be equal. That is a regular pentagon. And there are 5 lines of symmetry. From where does it come? Because whenever we are talking about some polygon, some regular polygon means a polygon in which all the sides are equal, then its line of symmetry, number of lines of symmetry in case of a regular polygon will be equal to the number of sides of the regular polygon. Next, fourth question. So in fourth question you have to tell which line is the line of symmetry in each shape. The dotted line, solid line, or both the lines. First part we are given, an arrow is given here and one dotted line, it is passing horizontally through it, and a solid line which is passing vertically through it. So which line is dividing this figure into two equal parts, dotted or solid? It is dotted one. So that means it is having horizontal symmetry. Next figure we are given. Here also two lines are given, one is solid and other is dotted. So which line from these both is dividing this figure into two equal parts? That is this dotted one. So that means this figure is also having horizontal symmetry. So this is all for the day. Thank you.